Over the past decade, Asia has grown tremendously. From massive growth in GDP to some of the most expensive cities in the world being from Asia alone, there is no doubt that the wave of Asia is gaining momentum. Welcome to Stacia Story, your source for learning more about Asia's future, as we highlight the rise of the largest continent on Earth. From rapid urbanization and widespread digitalization, several Asian economies are driving insurmountable growth to the largest continent on Earth. There are plenty of arguments as to why Asia is the future. But simply looking at numbers and facts alone, we see that by 2050, China and India are predicted to be the first and second wealthiest countries in the world. Asia is growing in the real estate and housing markets worldwide, with several nations being in the top markets. It has also undergone a huge digital revolution, evidenced by having the largest e-commerce, digital payment, and technology services in the region. In 2020, Asia had the world's largest regional economy. The 6 richest countries, China, Japan, India, South Korea, Indonesia, and Thailand, were among the top 25 countries in the list of 2020. Thailand and Indonesia were added to the list of top 25 within the last 20 years, while China and India elevated higher in the last 2 decades alone. These shifts are huge indicators that Asia is making big moves in the global economy. There doesn't seem to be signs of it slowing down. According to a PwC report, China, India, Indonesia, Japan will be among the top 10 economies in 2050. Among these 4, China, India, and Indonesia will be placed as the first, second, and fourth wealthiest countries. Furthermore, countries like Vietnam and the Philippines are expected to rise up several places in average annual GDP growth. In the last few years, the global housing market has been taken over by mostly Asian countries. Cities like Seoul, South Korea rank as the 7th most expensive city in the world in 2019, while Hong Kong stood as the most expensive residential property market worldwide. Global housing market statistics show that Hong Kong, Singapore, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Beijing are among the most expensive residential property markets globally. The real estate market keeps growing in Asia by double-digit percentages. In a recent PwC report, it indicates that the growing appetite for real estate inflows into Asia has tightened the last 6 to 9 months in 2020 during the pandemic. In the last few years, digital transformation has accelerated tremendously, with waves of advances in AI, computing power, and big data. There is no doubt that this has reshaped the global economy. Asia has adopted these emerging technologies quickly, standing at the forefront of the digital revolution. This is evidenced by the largest e-commerce, digital payment, and technology services such as Alibaba, Gojek, Tencent, SoftBank, and Baidu, all coming from Asia alone. Digital technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, AR, VR, blockchain, and big data are utilized heavily in many sectors in Asia. This is contributing to the drastic reshaping of Asia's economy and lifestyle. The new technology adaptation in Asia has thus helped to increase new jobs, skilled resources, and bring about a new rising middle class for several nations. Based on the Economy Southeast Asia 2020 report, it states that digital consumption has increased during the pandemic, with internet economies growing annually in the region. Due to cheap technology, devices, and user compatibility, new jobs are rising in Asian countries constantly, with more and more opportunities for rapid growth. According to IDC, since the governments and companies are promoting digitalization, 65% of global GDP is expected to be digitized by 2022, driving over $6.8 trillion of investments from 2020 to 2023. The potential for Asia's digital economy is huge with the advances in 5G, AI, cloud computing, IoT technologies, and big data. Adding to this insight, another report by UNCTAD shows how China, Korea, Taiwan, and India were some of the top countries that contributed to the growth in the information and communications technology sector in the last few years. When it comes to value added in ICT manufacturing, most of the countries in the top 10 economies were all from Asia. As noted in the book, The Future is Asian, the author Parag Khanna explains that Asian governments are spending money for the future New Silk Road. By doing so, will help the biggest commercial centers in Asia connect with other global regions to facilitate commerce and culture exchange. Moreover, beyond technology and commerce, Asia's culture is also a key export that we're seeing spread globally. As evident from the global phenomenon of K-pop and K-dramas, as well as rising interest in Japanese anime, there is no doubt that Asian culture is taking the world by storm. The numbers speak for themselves, with news like Netflix investing $700 million into more Korean content, or Sony acquiring anime streaming platform, Crunchyroll, for $1.2 billion. All of this is clear evidence that the world is definitely consuming more Asian culture. There is no doubt that Asia's influence in economy or entertainment is spreading rapidly. Also coined the Asianization of the modern world, this global wave of change is proof that Asia will continue to be the future, and why that future is now. If you liked the video, feel free to read more on our official website, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more future updates and videos.